Cedar Ridge was a town steeped in secrets. Nestled amidst towering pines, it held onto its mysteries as tightly as the fog clung to its hills. None were more intriguing or unsettling than the story of Whitlock Manor. Perched high on a windswept bluff, the manor loomed over the town like a watchful gargoyle. Locals whispered of the Whitlock family vanished without a trace one cold Christmas Eve, their grand home left to decay. Years turned into decades and the manor remained abandoned. It became a haunting reminder of the family's unexplained disappearance. Some claimed the Whitlocks still lingered within the manor's walls, trapped between this world and the next. Their whispers, they said, could be heard on the wind, a chorus of sorrow echoing through the empty halls. And the old house on the hill had always fascinated Jake. He had grown up hearing the whispers about Whitlock Manor, each telling a more chilling version than the last. This Christmas season, with the air thick with anticipation and the scent of pine needles, the manor seemed to call to him. He shared his fascination with his three friends, Emily, always up for a thrill, Lisa, cautious but easily persuaded, and Max, the skeptic of the group.
What if we went to Whitlock Manor?
Jake had suggested, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Emily was instantly on board, her usual caution forgotten. Lisa hesitated, glancing nervously at the fog-shrouded house on the hill. But Max, despite his skepticism, wouldn't be left out of an adventure. And so on Christmas Eve, under a sky choked with stars, the four friends found themselves at the foot of the manor's steps. The old iron gate creaked open with a groan, as if disturbed after a long slumber. A chill wind whipped through the overgrown gardens, carrying the scent of decay and something faintly metallic. As they stepped inside the manor, the air grew heavy, thick with the silence of ages. Dust motes danced in the pale moonlight, filtering through grimy windows. The silence was broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the soft creaking of the house settling around them. They explored each room cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the gloom. Cobwebs clung to ornate furniture, and faded portraits stared back at them from cracked walls. The air was thick with the smell of decay, a musty, oppressive scent that seemed to cling to their clothes. As they ventured deeper into the house, the air grew colder. The temperature dropped so dramatically that their breath formed frosty clouds. They began to hear strange noises, the soft whisper of voices, the rustle of unseen things. Once they could have sworn they saw a shadowy figure dart past an open doorway, its eyes glowing an eerie red in the darkness. Then it appeared, a swirling entity of smoke and shadow, its eyes burning like hot coals. Panic seized them. The entity moved with unnatural speed, its form shifting and swirling like flames. They stumbled back, their flashlights flickering in their terror. It let out a low growl, a sound that seemed to vibrate in their very bones, and lunged. S5. Media group, dark figure lunging in misty forest, shadowy figure attacking in woods, fast-moving entity in eerie forest at stock at distribute _equally. Max, despite his initial skepticism, reacted with surprising bravery.
Run!
He pushed Emily behind him, shoving her towards the hallway. He grabbed a heavy candlestick from a nearby table, brandishing it at the shadowy figure. The entity hesitated, its fiery eyes fixed on Max. He yelled, his voice echoing in the vast emptiness of the house. The entity lunged again, this time faster. Max swung the candlestick, connecting with a sickening thud. The entity recoiled, its form flickering as if in pain. But it was only a momentary reprieve. In a blink it was upon him, engulfing him in a cloud of darkness. Emily screamed, her voice raw with terror, but there was nothing she could do. Max was gone. S1. Media group, empty hallway after struggle, abandoned corridor in old house, lonely hallway at night at stock at distribute _equally run. Whispers of immortality. Driven by terror and grief, the remaining three friends fled deeper into the house. They stumbled through darkened hallways, their footsteps echoing on the wooden floors. The layout of the manor seemed to shift around them, twisting and turning into a macabre labyrinth. Doors that had been open were now sealed shut, and staircases led to dead ends. They stumbled upon a hidden room, its walls lined with bookshelves. A single candle flickered on a table, illuminating a leather-bound journal. Inside, scrawled in faded ink, was the story of the Whitlocks' obsession with immortality. They had sought to cheat death, the journal claimed, performing a dark ritual on that very Christmas Eve. But something had gone terribly wrong. Trapped in the labyrinth. The journal fell from Emily's trembling hands. The house groaned around them, the walls seeming to close in. They were trapped, hunted by something ancient and malevolent. They ran blindly, their flashlight beams dancing across the walls. The air was thick with the scent of ozone, and the temperature fluctuated wildly. The house seemed to delight in their terror, toying with them like a predator with its prey. Hallways stretched on endlessly, twisting and turning back on themselves. Doors slammed shut in their faces, and the floorboards creaked ominously beneath their feet. The smoky entity was everywhere and nowhere, its presence felt in the icy drafts and the whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. A desperate escape. They finally found a window, its glass long since shattered. They squeezed through the opening, cutting themselves on the jagged shards. Outside, the storm raged around them, the wind howling like a banshee. But it was a welcome change from the oppressive atmosphere within the house. They ran, their lungs burning, their legs screaming for respite. They didn't stop until they reached the road, collapsing in a heap at the edge of the woods. But as they caught their breath, they realized with a sickening dread that Lisa was no longer with them. She had disappeared somewhere in the chaos, swallowed by the storm and the shadows of the house.
Help, please, someone help me.
The shadow remains. The police arrived to find two hysterical teenagers and a chilling tale. The search for Lisa yielded nothing. The house stood defiant, its windows dark and lifeless. The storm had subsided, leaving an eerie calm in its wake. The locals, though saddened by the news, were unsurprised. Whitlock Manor, they said, had claimed more victims. The manor still stands today, a silent sentinel overlooking Cedar Ridge. Some say it's quiet now, the entity placated. Others whisper that it waits, patiently biding its time, its shadow lengthening with each passing season, hungry for the next unsuspecting soul to wander through its doors.